Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for coming along today. Thursday edition of The Ride Home. A very busy day. A very busy day here in the studio.
Yeah.
Kath came in early, and while you were in the early mode, you're doing a little cleaning, a little spring cleaning.
I've taken it apart in there.
Holy moly.
I have thrown away.
In the office.
I probably have 400 books in my office.
You used to.
Not anymore. I just went through. I had to get a grip on myself. It's a crazy town. What's happening in my office? Our office, I mean, yours is bigger than mine. Mine's probably.
Is it bigger?
Mine's probably like, what do you think, 5 by 5?
They're small-ish.
Yeah, so I'm not complaining. I'm very happy to have it. It's all windows, and I'm very thrilled with it.
Lovely.
But I'm dying in there. I got out the bleach cleaner. I threw away detritus from east to west.
Detritus. Yeah, very nice. And I was a recipient of a piece
You
of
were.
that.
I found a nice CD selection that I decided to give to you.
How do you know? How do you find a CD? You had no recollection of it.
Well, you've seen my office.
Yes.
And Christy got a DVD,
I got Cinderella.
which is the Kenneth Branagh. No, stop it. The Kenneth Branagh version, which is epic
Right.
and beautiful. John, you got a Lucinda Williams CD?
Very nice. I'm all happy about it, yeah. And while that was going on, I was doing leftover flatbread pizza.
We didn't give a shout out to the Bingham Tavern.
Bingham.
They treated us well yesterday.
Very nice.
We took our new friend James Ward there yesterday, an Atlanta native who'd never been to Pittsburgh before. And we took him up there, and they really treated us well.
Oh,
And that Pittsburgh flatbread is
very
delish.
nice.
I believe it's pulled pork on the, or is it brisket on the bottom?
was brisket.
Brisket on the bottom. Pierogi on top, and then a very nice
Drizzle.
sour cream chive drizzle.
Lovely.
Really pulls it together.
I was disappointed I only had one piece left over.
Well, that's because you had all the pieces yesterday.
I did, yes. Okay, so we took our friend James Webb. James Webb.
The telescope again.
The astronomer James Webb joined us, and we were looking at Neptune from Mount Washington. Anyway, James was with us, and as we do with all people who are first-time visitors, we did the pierogi test.
We did. Have you ever heard of this word?
He was totally flummoxed.
He said, I don't, what are you saying?
And so you described it, and then our waitress described it, which I thought that was a very nice description.
It was. Hers or mine?
Hers. Anyway, Kath is no longer with the show. The waitress from the restaurant will be with us next week.
It's the John and the waitress from the restaurant show.
She described it as a pillow, a soft pillow filled with potato.
With mashed potatoes, which I think is sweet and comforting.
Very nice.
I was trying to explain like the whole genesis of it, and
She went right to the
poverty food and sustenance and
it's a soft pillow. It was a My Pillow. Mike Lindell is now selling them by the dozen, apparently.
frozen and fresh.
Very good. Anyway, we got another friend with us here today.
We sure do. Jack Hibbard
Jack
would have been at the lunch with us yesterday. Maybe we would have ended up at another place. Who knows?
A little higher end.
Yeah, maybe.
A little
because
higher end.
Jack loves himself a trip to Pittsburgh. Jack with us from Hartford, Lebanon. He's with us via Zoom because of a little COVID close call he got. Very close, actually.
Yep.
And Jack, it's great to see your face, even if it is the virtual kind.
Thank you very much. I have a serious fear of being left out after hearing about that lunch yesterday, but we've enjoyed a few over the years.
We have.
And, so I'm glad you could treat James to a Pittsburgh favorite.
Very nice.
We sure did. Now, Jack, how are you feeling? Tell us.
Doing well, actually.
Great.
Believe it or not, second time around.
What?
I don't recommend doing that like just for fun. So in case you've had it and you're thinking, well, let's do it again. Nah,
Probably
I don't think
not.
I'd go there. But much easier the second time.
Much easier.
Okay,
And
good.
I am feeling better after a couple of days. So
Excellent.
grateful
Well, what
for
I
that.
love-
Grateful to be with you.
What I love about your experience is that not only have you had COVID twice, but you've also had all the vaccines and all the boosters. So you've just basically
Yes,
rounded it all out. Like whatever there is to experience, you
right.
have.
Good job.
Trying to get it all
Right?
at once.
All in the name of trust the
Jack, I'm
science.
so sorry. That's really a shame. We're glad you're feeling better.
Well, I'm glad I'm here and didn't unintentionally share anything with you guys. How's that?
Yeah, we're happy as well. We're one of the few people, I believe, in the universe who have yet experienced the COVID symptoms.
Yeah, we haven't gotten it,
No,
which
we've not.
I can't believe. It's only a matter of time.
Coming. Of course it is, right? That's just how it is. So, anyway, Jack, what are you doing here?
Well, we are super excited because I get to just come in sort of at the end like the cleanup hitter,
Sure.
and sort of be here on this last day and really celebrate what God's doing through the partnership with WORD listeners and Heart for Lebanon. As you guys know, I've been involved with Heart for Lebanon for a bunch of years now, and we have the opportunity today to rescue families that are really, really in a desperate place. I know that you and James have been talking about that for the last couple of days. We'll amplify that and talk a little bit more about that, and also, more importantly, talk about how God is working, because that's the amazing thing. I think probably the level of despair and almost the desperation of this country has probably never been a lower, higher, whatever illustration you want to use there, than it is right now. It's not been any more severe than any time we've ever been together. But in the middle of that all, God is doing some amazing things. I heard James yesterday say, and this is absolutely true, more Muslim cultured people are coming to Christ than in any other time in our generation. And we get to be a part of that because as you invest in the ministry of Heart for Lebanon today, and we take these families that literally on a waiting list, just waiting for our help, we get them off the list and we get them into our care. We not only care for their physical needs, which is a really serious situation at the moment, but that kickstarts a relationship and gives us the opportunity to be with them month after month after month and share the gospel with them. And that's the thing that I think we want to make sure people understand that really is the distinguishing difference with Heart for Lebanon. A lot of great organizations that are called to do relief, but relief is transactional. In fact, I heard somebody say the other day that if all God wanted to do when he gave us Jesus was feed us, he would have sent a chef. But Jesus was a savior. And that's what we're really excited about, bringing to the people of the country of Lebanon the opportunity to get to know him as such, and therefore have a hope not only in their present situation, but also in their future. So when we come back, I think, John, we want to update people exactly where we are. We're really excited about what God's done even today through the WORD listeners. And we've got a goal to reach in the next couple of hours. This is our last day of partnership together. So if you're listening right now, you are not listening by mistake. This is your moment in time and an opportunity to be a part of something really special.
Fabulous. Jack Hibbert is with us from Heart for Lebanon. As Jack says, it's our final 1 hour and 50 minutes in this campaign. Please stay with us. Jack always has wonderful stories, and these stories you don't want to miss, and be part of this giving extravaganza. Stay with us.
101.5 WORD.
Coming up on Love Worth Finding.
Are you equipped to defend your faith in the last days?
The Bible tells us very clearly, in the last days men shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of demons. And so the book of Jude has been written as a call to action for soldiers of the cross to be defenders of the faith.
Hear Adrian Rogers' series Handbook for Survival this month on Love Worth Finding.
Tonight at 11 on 101.5 WORD.
So I was at one of those overcrowded July 4th festivals and did a boneheaded thing and dropped my wallet on the ground. Had no idea. About a minute later, I hear a "excuse me, sir" from a teenage kid out of breath trying to catch me. He handed me my wallet and then he handed my niece a pink unicorn and said, "I won this, but I think it'd look cooler in your room." If you're like me, it's really easy to get trapped in the crazy of life, like an overpacked festival. I can get focused on my job and all the things I enjoy, and I can forget to keep my eyes open for those around me and how truly powerful a random act of kindness can be for someone. This summer at United Faith Mortgage, we want to do something nice and pay somebody's mortgage for a month. You can register for that, no gimmicks, at our website. But more so, I hope together this month we'll all do as Jesus would do, eyes open on the crowd around us with the intention to make someone else smile. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. NMLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
If you haven't switched to Medi-Share yet, two big reasons to at least consider it and why it makes so much sense right now. Number one's inflation, which is just affecting everything. It makes sense to say, okay, where can I actually save? Well, you could save a lot in one fell swoop if you switch to Medi-Share. The typical family saves $500 a month. Secondly, your conscience. Medi-Share members aren't forced to pay for things they don't support or believe in, and that's a big deal for a lot of people right now. They want their money to actually help people. And one more reason, you can trust Medi-Share. It's been the gold standard for healthcare sharing for more than 25 years. It works, and members love it too. It has double the customer satisfaction rating compared to health insurance. So now's a great time to consider making the switch, and they're very easy to talk to. Medi-Share has great customer service. You can even get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
I'm Steve Williams from AccuWeather. Not running your business on NetSuite is like trying to sink a putt with a cat pulled over your eyes. NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system, giving you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, budgeting, and more, all in one place. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control after upgrading to NetSuite. Over 31,000 businesses already use NetSuite. NetSuite has a special financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/temp. netsuite.com/TEMP.
These last couple of years, I believe most of us have experienced this phenomenon of life on hold, right? Yearning for how things used to be. But of course, that ship has sailed. Life as it used to be is never going to be what's going to come back. But imagine being a refugee, your country in turmoil, and for whatever reason, war or persecution or financial instability or starvation, you and your family flee your homeland and find yourself in an unfamiliar territory. And while you're there in this unfamiliar territory, you are confined to an area, living in a canvas tent with no opportunity to make a living, no schooling. You're relying solely on the kindness of strangers to allow you to see another day. Well, that's why we're here today. Heart for Lebanon is with us. It's our final day on air, our final 1 hour and 40 minutes, so to speak. Jack Hibbert is with us from Heart for Lebanon. And Jack, set the tone. Tell our listeners what Heart for Lebanon is doing, what the ministry is all about.
Yeah, so Heart for Lebanon, John, started back in 2006, and I think really honestly, we thought it would be a temporary ministry. We really did. We were trying to help Lebanon get back on their feet after a 33-day war with their neighbor to the south, thanks to a little dust-up between a little organization called Hezbollah and Israel. There was a tremendous conflict that really ripped apart the country. And, you know, Tom Adama and Camille Melky, who we've both heard from in the past on this show, our co-founders, were teaching leadership in the area and thought, well, I guess we should live it out now, right? Not just teach it, and let's help the country get back on their feet. But honestly, I think they thought, well, maybe a year, you know, and we'll get back to doing what we were doing. But right after that, the Iraqi war started, and refugees from Iraq started to come into the country of Lebanon. In fact, I was there in 2008, John, for the very first time, and Heart for Lebanon was serving 100 Iraqi war families. But not soon after that, not that long after that, the Syrian war started. And by the way, we don't hear anything about Syria anymore, but it's still not safe for people to return there. You talked a moment ago about refugees' life on hold. Some of these refugees first started coming into the country over 12 years ago. Wow. They can't go back. There's nothing to go back to. Assad has pretty much destroyed the country of Syria and made it a very dangerous place to live in. And so these lives are on hold. But honestly, for the country of Lebanon, John, that's part of the story. And it's a significant part because, listen, if you had 50% of everybody that lived in the Pittsburgh area displaced, you'd have a serious humanitarian crisis. Yes. And that's what Lebanon has. But in the middle of all this, they've had a corrupt government, a collapsing economy that has seen their currency, get this, drop over 90%. You think that our economy is bad right now? Can you imagine waking up tomorrow and your dollar bill being worth 10 cents? That's where Lebanon is today. And as such, 80%, over 80% of everybody living in country is living at a place where they desperately need aid. The Ukrainian war, you say, well, what does that have to do with the country of Lebanon? Well, you got to remember you're living in a bread culture in Lebanon. And up until February, Lebanon used to get almost 90% of all of its grain from the country of Ukraine. That has stopped. They've had to find other sources. And you're probably thinking, well, I'm sure they had a stockpile of supply. Well, yeah, they did before the port of Beirut blew up 2 years ago and ruined any opportunity to store. And literally, we've been living in Lebanon on a 10-day supply of grain since February. And, of course, the prices have skyrocketed. And it's just an insane situation. Honestly, John, when I look at it, it is a humanitarian catastrophe that is akin to a natural disaster in Lebanon.
Wow.
But that's all the bad news. The good news is, as I said, that God is doing some incredible things. The gospel, the good news of salvation, is spreading like wildfire in the lives and the hearts of the people in Lebanon. And listen, these folks do need relief, and we're going to bring it to them today. $116 is what it takes for us to feed a family of 6 for 4 months. But here's the deal. That investment, you've heard of these Kickstarter campaigns?
Sure.
Our campaign today is a Kickstarter campaign. It really is, because one of the things I want you to know is if you will kickstart us reaching a family, we will pledge to not drop that family. We've never done it since I've met Heart for Lebanon. We will not drop a family. That relationship will continue. You'll take care of the first 4 months, hopefully at a minimum with your gift. But after that, we'll continue to take care of them because we believe in relationship, not transaction. And as we have that relationship, as we have that opportunity to visit with these people, and I've been there, John, I've sat in these tents, Kathy, with these hurting moms, these little children. As I've had the opportunity to sit there, they ask the question, why do you care about us? Why nobody else cares about us? Why are you here? And that's where we have the opportunity to share the gospel. And as I said a couple of moments ago, more Muslim cultured people are coming to Christ than at any other time in our generation. So $116, a child and their family for 4 months, but a relationship that goes on where we get to share the gospel. Now, here's what I want to share, which is really exciting. When we got together a couple of months ago, you and I and the team at WORD, and we started talking about the opportunity to do this partnership together, we sort of said, what would the Lord have us do? And we looked at it and we thought we could probably take care of over 100 families together. In fact, the list was 109 families 2 days ago. Here is the really exciting news. We are down to 35 families to go.
Good.
Just some amazing generosity that we've seen in the last couple of days. 35 families to go. But here's the challenge. As John said a couple of moments ago, just a little over 90 minutes to make this happen. And so you are needed right now. I'd love it, John, if we could take care of 10 of those families off that list of 35. Could we do that? You and 9 others right now with a gift of $116. I mean, maybe you could make a generous gift. Maybe you've been uniquely blessed and could make a gift of $580. You and one friend doing that, and we'd take care of all 10 families. Or like Pete did a little earlier today from New Kensington, made a gift of $1,160 to take care of 10 families.
Nice.
Maybe you're in a position to do exactly what Pete did. I know these are economic times. Economically challenging times is what I was going to say. I'm so challenged by them I can hardly speak. Here's the issue, right? You could, if you want to do something generous, you can break it up monthly. That's a possibility. Just let the operator know when you call. Hey, I want to give monthly. Any amount. We'll be able to do that. You can choose that option online as well. But here's what it's going to take in this last hour and about 35 minutes. It's everybody doing something. But I am really believing we'll be able to take care. I want to celebrate at 6 o'clock tonight by taking care of these final 35 families. Maybe we'll even be able to do more. We have people that are critically needing care, not knowing, John, where the next meal is going to come from, but more importantly, not knowing the hope that they really need from Jesus to even face the next day. Mm-hmm. So let's do something right now.
Very nice. Those are the specifics. Here's the number to call to be part of this. We need 10 families taken care of right now. 1-888-247-5499. That's 1-888-247-5499. Of course, online, so easy at wordfm.com. But on your phone, 888-247-5499. We're looking for 10 families to be taken care of right now at $116. Now, Jack, when you say families are taken care
what does that
of,
mean?
what exactly is happening there?
Well, we say, well, that provides the food, but it does so much more, because here's the deal, right? When you're in relationship with somebody, if I'm in a relationship with you, Kathy, and you need a drink of water and I hand you a hamburger, that's not very helpful. Relationship means we'll do whatever it takes. I've been there. I've been there to see us rebuild tents that have burned down. I've been there to see us provide blankets when it's cold. I've been there to see us really rebuild refugee tent settlements when the snow melted and the water just flooded out an entire refugee tent settlement. That's what you do when you're in a relationship. So when I said about kickstarting a relationship, it's so much more than just that immediate need. It's so much more than that food. It's whatever these people need. Now, it starts with a bag of food. That's what we do. And by the way, we don't give them, and I hope this doesn't sound mean, we don't give them everything that they need in a given month, but we give them enough so that they don't have 100% dependence on us. They need to make sure that they're doing everything that they can and doing their part to make it happen. But what we do is provide everything that they need, John. Honestly, we don't talk a lot about this. We've seen medical needs where Heart for Lebanon has been able to go in and provide surgeries. So as you stand with us today, what you need to know is that you are kickstarting a relationship. That $116 gift is just the beginning. And fortunately, after 16 years, or unfortunately, because the need continues to just go on and get even more desperate, we have seen God do some tremendous things through this methodology. In fact, I could talk about this more. I think it'd be great to hear from one of the guys that, John, I call a rock star in our ministry. His name is Bashir. He leads the Hope Center in the Bekaa Valley. The Bekaa Valley is where most of our refugees from Syria have walked across the mountains and have settled in, and that's where they live. They live in farmers' fields, really in just utter squalor. Bashir has been faithfully serving there, an indigenous individual that, believe it or not, actually came from Syria. That's where he grew up. He came to Lebanon, came to know Christ. He leads our ministry there, and I'll let him talk a little bit about our process. Here's just a short thing from Bashir. Listen to this.
We always build relationships with people, and our ministry is based on the relationships with the families that we serve. When we visit the families in the camps, we sit with them, we hear their stories, we let them talk and share their challenges and their problems with us. And through the relationships, we can have an opportunity to talk about God's love, to talk about Jesus with the families that we serve.
And see, that's the difference right there, John, with Heart for Lebanon. You see, it's not about giving them just water or food. It's about providing for them a way to know life forever, eternal life. And I think that's something worthy of our investment today. I really do. I can promise you, again, as you invest in the ministry of Heart for Lebanon, we will make sure that those immediate needs are met. Yes, we're going to feed them. We're going to clothe them. We'll take care of them. But it is the entrance to the relationship that gives us the opportunity to share with them that they have a Savior who loves them and wants to provide for them eternal life. And these hurting people need that more than anything else. I can't think of a more worthy investment, and I'm hoping that you agree. 35 families to go. We're hoping to take care of 10 right now. That's you and 9 others with that gift of $116. And we talked about monthly. By the way, it's less than $1 a day. If you break down that math, John, $116, 4 months, less than $1 a day, $29 a month. And you can be a hope provider for these families, knowing that, month after month on a sustaining basis, you're taking care of another family. It would be a wonderful thing, I think, for maybe your own family to adopt. Can you imagine sitting down at the dinner table tonight and going, okay, kids, just want to let you know, we adopted a family in Lebanon today. It takes less than $1 a day to do that. Would you stand with us right now? You are needed in these closing moments, this final day of our partnership.
Fabulous. 888-247-5499 is the number to call.
Giving online at wordfm.com. Also an option for you. Go to wordfm.com. Look for the banner at the top of the page which says Heart for Lebanon. Click there and then give your best gift. We're
Very
glad
nice.
You're along with us today.
We sure are. But please go to your phones right now. We need 10 families taken care of. Let you step forward first. Don't let somebody else do this. 888-247-5499.
The most beautiful things in life start small, from a single seed. At Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse, with the aid of warm sun, fertile soil, and expert hands, those seeds blossom into gardens of fresh produce, delicious wines, and beautiful landscapes. Here at Bedner's Thriving Family Farm and Garden Center, you'll find everything you need to inspire your own homegrown happiness. Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse in McDonald, making the world beautiful since 1917 at bednersgreenhouse.com.
This is Kathy Emmons. John and I are grateful for the encouragement we have from all of our advertisers, and especially our friends at Grove City College. Thanks to everyone at Grove City for supporting The Ride Home.
If you owed $30 trillion and you didn't have the money to pay it off, you need to make a lot more money, right? Well, now America's debt is more than $30 trillion, and right now taxes are at historically low levels. So it doesn't take a genius to realize taxes will probably go up. Now, think about your retirement accounts. Do you want to pay taxes on some of that money now when rates are low, or later when rates are much higher? Whether you should pay taxes now or in retirement depends on a lot of things. That's why Kurt Knodik at Accurate Solutions Groups has a free guide called Are You Paying Too Much in Taxes to help you determine what's best for you. To get your copy of Are You Paying Too Much in Taxes, call or text TAX to 412-515-3555. That's TAX to 412-515-3555. Get this free guide from Kurt Knodik at Accurate Solutions Group now. 412-515-3555. Investment advisory services offered through ASG Investment Management, LLC. Our firm may not give tax advice.
Meet Brad. Brad's hard at work, or at least his website is. Ever since he added live chat with Salem Surround, Brad's customers are getting their questions answered 24/7. Website purchases have gone up 35%, and they're over 3 times more likely to buy from him again. No bots, just real people helping real people. Live chat. One of the easiest, most affordable ways Salem Surround can increase your business while you do other things, or nothing at all. Ask us how at surroundpittsburgh.com.
Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
101.5 WORD FM Pittsburgh. On your smart speaker by saying, play the word Pittsburgh. And on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
What are all the things you witness online in a day? Cats playing piano, selfies on your feed, your friend's picture being turned into a nasty meme that's been shared 50 times, 51, 52. When someone's being bullied online, it's hard to know what to do. Now you can speak up with the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 69, mostly sunny, very warm and humid tomorrow. Tomorrow will reach a high of 87. Tomorrow night, we'll see mainly clear skies. It will be humid with a low of 67. Saturday will be very warm and humid with sunshine and a few clouds at a high of 89. Sunday, hot, humid, intervals of clouds and sun with a high of 92. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
I was at Dick's Sporting Goods store last week. They've got a very large camping display. Looks gorgeous. You know, it's kind of like this high-end, almost gentleman camping. Big nylon.
Glamping.
Yeah, glamping. Nylon tents and, cook stoves and all that. It looks very, very nice. Now, we're talking in some odd way today about camping every day for the next decade, which is essentially what's happening in Lebanon with Lebanese refugees.
Nothing glamorous about that.
There is nothing glamorous about this. This is mostly women and children, hook by crook, just trying to get through another day. This is our final hour and 25 minutes or so on air with Heart for Lebanon. We really, really need 10 people to step forward right now and say, yes, I can come alongside young mothers and their children to stop this madness, to be an aid, to provide food, hygiene products, to let the people know that the Christ is with them. Here's an opportunity to do this right now. Please join us, won't you? We're looking for 10 families. We need you to start this off right now, to break the seal on this day. 888-247-5499. Once more, 888-247-5499. 5499 or online at wordfm.com. Our basic ask is this: a one-time gift of $116 will help a child and their family for the next 4 months with the very basics of food and hygiene and schooling for these children in these refugee camps in Lebanon. But we are waiting for you to get the phones cooking our final hour and 20 minutes or so with Heart for Lebanon today at 888-247-5499 or online at wordfm.com.
As we think about kind of trying to get out of our own heads and our own spheres, Jack, and kind of transport ourselves to a place, like John said, which is long-term camping. James brought up a very good point today that I've been thinking about since, which is these people haven't been camping for their entire life. It's not like they know how to live like this. They were people who had lives. They had homes. They were in a situation that was stable, and now this is what they're doing. I mean, the shock to the system must be extreme.
I don't think we can identify with it, honestly, no. Kathy. I can't even imagine because, their lives changed in an absolute instant. I got to tell you, I remember meeting a family on one of my first trips after the Syrian crisis, the refugee crisis started. They were living in a farmer's field. It was a banana field, and they were living in an irrigation house, really. So it was like kind of a pump house, right? In fact, we recognized that because as we sat sort of in the living room, there was still water trickling through what you would call the living room, right? These are one of the fortunate few. You talk about camping, they actually had a tin roof over their head instead of, canvas or some rudimentary 2x4s with some old plastic over it. But as we were listening to the story through a translator, the man said, yeah, we got a knock on the door and we're told we had 15 minutes to get out of our house. And I said, well, explain that. He said, yeah, the Syrian army knocked on our door and said, 15 minutes. Now, this was a guy that had a full-time job, had a livelihood in Syria. Things were fine. He gets a knock on the door. He said, well, what's going to happen in 15 minutes? And the soldier said, we're going to start firing our guns. So 15 minutes went by. He grabbed everything he could, his children, his belongings, and they started running. But at 15 minutes, as they left the house, that's exactly what started happening. Wow. The Syrian army started firing. And as he's telling the story, I'm looking, and I realize he only has one leg. Found out through the translator he lost his leg, amputated, after he got to Lebanon because it was an injury from that very situation. Oh, my gosh. But then he said something. That I said to the translator, hold on a second. You're going to have to make him say that again. He said it again. He said, it's the best thing that ever happened to us. And I said, all right, that deserves a little bit more explanation. He said, yeah, this is the best thing that ever happened to us because when we were in Syria, we knew about Jesus, we heard about him, but we never knew until Heart for Lebanon started serving us, started coming here, started providing what we needed every month, month after month, that same Jesus could be our Savior. It's the best thing that ever happened to us. You see, I don't understand how God in his providence would take people from, a livelihood, a normal existence, Kathy, like you said, and put them in, forever camping. I don't understand that. But I can see the goodness of how God is working it all out. And some lives are being changed forever because folks, just like the people listening to us right now, are willing to make the investment in the ministry of Heart for Lebanon so that we can reach families just like that in the farmer's field.
Fabulous. Please join us right now. This is our final day on air with Hope for Lebanon. 888-247-5499. That's 888-247-5499. We're looking for 10 people, 10 of our family listeners here right now to step forward and say, yes, I can take care of a family of 5 for the next 4 months. That's all we're asking. The very basic ask. One family is taking care of another family, your family helping another family for the next 5 months. Please join us. Won't you? wordfm.com or 888-247-5499, a one-time gift of $116.
We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversations about Lebanon and you probably answer the question, which is important for listeners, certainly was important for me when we started this campaign. Why Lebanon? Why are we focused on that country? We'll talk about it next on The Ride Home.
101.5 WORD.
The preacher in the book of Ecclesiastes asks some tough questions. What good is wealth if death is unavoidable? Why do the wicked prosper and the righteous suffer? Why do bad things happen to good people? Explore these questions and consider the devastating effects of foolishness this week on Truth for Life with Alistair Begg.
Tomorrow morning at 6 on 101.5 WORD. The war in Ukraine is impacting the world in many ways, but especially in Lebanon, a country that once depended on Ukraine for most of its grain supply. Now, food shortages and a collapsing economy have left nearly 80% of everyone living there in desperate need of aid. Again this year, we are partnering with Heart for Lebanon, a ministry that not only meets physical needs, but shares the gospel with these hurting people. And right now, more people are turning to Christ than at any time in our generation. You can help make that happen. A single investment of $116 helps a child and their family with food for 4 months and provides the hope of the gospel of Jesus Christ. But hundreds are on a waiting list and need our help, so please be as generous as you can. Call 888-247-5499. That's 888-247-5499. Or click the Heart for Lebanon banner at wordfm.com. 888-247-5499 or online at wordfm.com.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. It's really frustrating to deal with out-of-pocket medical expenses, watching your hard-earned dollars just flying out the window. Well, here's something that can really help, and it's worth taking a minute to look into. Medishare has a new option called Medishare 65 Plus. Medishare is a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it really is a community. People encourage and pray for each other. And Medishare 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B that fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. You can lock in one low monthly price for up to 10 years. It's great for peace of mind. You can use your Medicare-approved doctor and get prescription savings, dental and vision savings. Very worth looking into, and it's so easy to find out why people rave about the customer service at Medishare. They're great to talk to on the phone. Here's the number. Call 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
Our biblical beliefs about marriage, human sexuality, and gender are increasingly countercultural. In fact, our views are often considered offensive and infringing on personal freedom. Sometimes this makes Christians look like the bad guys. How should we respond? Request your copy of the book Being the Bad Guys, available today at truthforlife.org.
Heart for Lebanon. We started talking about the organization 2 days ago, and since they've only joined us on the air a couple times, it was, kind of a new thing for John and I, and so it was a new thing for you guys as listeners. But after the last couple days of being with James Ward, today welcoming Jack Hibbard to the program, I got to tell you, John and I love this organization. We love how they approach their mission. We love the heart that they approach it with, and I don't know, for me, just having my mind open to an organization working this effectively and this well in the Middle East has just been, it's just made my heart glad. And so John and I want to encourage each one of you listeners to be a part of this most outstanding work, this amazing stuff that God is already doing in the Middle East, and being able to, as I said yesterday, get on a moving train, right? Like this is what God is already doing. So let's come alongside these people and say, yeah, we're investing in you. Your gift of $116 is going to help a child and their family. It's going to give them food for the next 4 months. But more than that, and food can be very important, but the relationship that they're going to develop is what we're asking you to kickstart today. The relationship between a refugee family in Lebanon and Heart for Lebanon. So give us a call at 888-247-5499. It is our last day with Heart for Lebanon, so we don't have that much time, and we are close to our goal. So we'd be happy to have you join us by phone or online at wordfm.com.
The big thing is, though, there's 30 35 families right now who are waiting. We have 35 families left who need this assistance for the next 4 months. Just 35 families. So we know that as we talk right now, Kath and I talk, that there are thousands of you who are listening in, right? Everywhere here from the city of Pittsburgh, all the way from Butler to Slippery Rock to Zelienople and
all
beyond.
All over the country.
It is. So we're not asking for thousands of you to respond. We're just asking for 35 of you to respond. That's all. To say, I can take care of a family for the next 4 months. This is not for the next 4 years or for the next what. This is just a short-term fix we're looking for. So please, won't you join us? To be honest, transparent, the phones are slow. And I imagine, there's any number of things that are in play right now. Of course, inflation is the elephant in the room. But of course, people go, Lebanon, what does that mean to me? I'm not quite sure I make the connection here. The connection is this. Are we not pro-life people? Every time we talk about, the recent Supreme Court decision, non-Christians will go, yeah, you Christians, you care about the baby in the womb, but you don't care about anything else. No, we all know that that's just bunk. That is just ridiculous. Here's an opportunity in a very short, small window to say, I'm pro-life, and I'm going to take care of this family for the next 4 months. That's all. A mother, generally, because the men pretty much are gone, a mother with her children, 4 kids, 5 kids. That's all. A very short-term fix. Please join us, won't you? The minutes are clicking by. We need 35 families here before we leave the air at 6 o'clock. 888-247-5499. That's all. 888-247-5499. A one-time gift of $116 provides enough food, sustenance, hygiene products for the next 4 months only. And that's where you come in. WordFM.com, very easy, or right now at 888-247-5499.
Jack Hibbard, that short-term fix that John is talking about is that kick-starting of the relationship between a refugee family and you guys. What happens after that 4-month period? So it's you and your heart, as I understand from James Ward over the last couple of days, is to keep that relationship going?
It absolutely is. And as a matter of fact, we have teams of people every day that are visiting with the people that we serve. That's part of what we do. We won't. And by the way, you mentioned this earlier, Kathy, food is necessary. It's not either or. We could never have the opportunity to even share relationally with these people if we didn't serve them first. So that opens the door to us having a relationship, going in, talking to these people, hearing their heartbreaking stories. Sometimes it's just a matter of sitting there and listening. And you would be heartbroken to hear some of just the horror that these families, that these little children have faced as they've come across the border from Syria into Lebanon. And as we do that, when you show up month after month after month, eventually the question comes, why do you care about us? Well, there it is. It's the open door to be able to tell them that we love them because Jesus loved us and that he wants to love them and be their Savior. And that's where, we see so many things happening. 888-247-5499 is the way for you to be involved. Thank you, Kim, for breaking the ice. Kim from Babbitt, Pennsylvania, making her gift of $116. That's one of the 10 families that we'd like to take care of that 35 family list that we still have. I often say, how do you reach a big goal? Well, you do it a little bit at a time. So that's why we're saying, could we take care of 10 families in the next 13 minutes before 5 o'clock? That would get that list down to 25 families. We are just a little over an hour to go in our partnership together. 888-247-5499. We're online at WORDFM.com, wordfm.com. Kathy, you asked a question right before we went to the break. Why Lebanon? Hopefully we're answering some of that. Certainly one of the reasons is we want to connect people to where God is working, and he is working in Lebanon. That's really what this day is all about. But it also is because lives are hanging in the balance. I think sometimes people think, well, that's hyperbole. You're talking about rescuing people and lives hanging in the balance. Well, I want to share a story with you that illustrates this. Here's Amira's story.
The days of war in Syria, I wish no one ever sees them. Fear, death, and suffering surrounded me. My name is Amira from Homs. We came to Lebanon in 2014 as refugees because of the war, trouble, and fear. After we settled in this tent, I gave birth to Aya. Then my husband had to go to the Syrian borders to fix his papers. But he suddenly disappeared, and we haven't heard anything of him since. I was in shock and suffered a lot until it was time to give birth to my daughter. But when I was giving birth to her, she passed away. This was another shock, which made me suffer a lot. I was very depressed and wretched. I constantly thought of taking my own life. I met Heart for Lebanon through our Kurdish neighbors. There was this lady who kept insisting that I come along with her, so that's what I did. I started going with her every Wednesday and Sunday, and step by step, I was learning lessons from the Bible. Every time I went to church, I felt as if a heavy weight fell off my shoulders before I slept. I felt extremely comforted. I wish that Sundays would come very quickly, just so I could go and learn more. I've suffered so much from many things. I mean, my life couldn't get any worse. But after meeting Heart for Lebanon, my faith in God grew so much. And I pray that He strengthens me and lifts me up at all times. I learned a lot and developed as a person. All the dark thoughts I had about suicide, I threw them out of my head completely, and I started facing life in a better way.
I'd like to tell you, John, that Amira's story is unique. It's not. We've heard it time and time again, very similar circumstances, young moms with little babies. In this case, here's a mom who actually lost a baby. Just in desperation of their very own life. But, you know, you heard it there. Because of investments like the ones that are being made today, Heart for Lebanon was able to meet Amira. We were able to start sharing the love of Jesus with her because somebody was willing to make an investment and kickstart a relationship where we could share that. And that's exactly what we're trying to do today. So when we talk about, you know, rescuing families, which in this case, as you said earlier, John, is usually a mom. The dad's gone. He's either still in Syria or he's lost eternally. We don't know, right? But most of these people that we serve, they're moms with children, kind of mixed families. Sometimes it's a sister's children and their children, and you know, it's just not our typical family we would think about here. But when we talk about rescuing these families, Amira is a perfect example of what we have the potential of doing. Taking somebody that literally is hanging on by a thread. Not knowing where their next meal is going to come from, not knowing how they're even going to sustain the life of their children, and not knowing for sure what their future looks like. Well, the good news is we have the answer. We have the answer to that, and Jesus is that answer. He can give people, we know, a future and a hope, even in the most difficult of circumstances. And that's what Amira's found. You heard it from her own testimony, and that's why we're asking you to stand with us right now.
Fabulous. We are essentially, figuratively, and the truth of it is actively inviting more people to the table to take part in the blood and body of Jesus Christ. That's what we're doing today, to evangelize for people that we'll never lay eyes on. Now, here it is. We're close to the end of this 5 o'clock hour. It's 4:52. We're going to leave the air at 6 o'clock. And when we do, our campaign is essentially over. We still have 34 families that need to be taken care of for these next 4 months. Won't you step forward right now? 888-247-5499, 888-247-5499, or wordfm.com online.
If this ministry moves you and you have the resources, one gift of $4,060 would take care of all of those people, even now. Give us a call, 888-247-5499. Or if you're like me and you like to do stuff online, wordfm.com. Click on the banner at the top of the page.
Time is short. We need your help. Don't be shy about this. We know you're there. Join us.
If you're considering protecting your retirement with gold or silver, listen up. Mark Davis here. One company I trust for this, Advantage Gold, the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. They are so passionate about teaching people how to own physical gold and silver. They've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because they really educate their clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. Call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. Talk to one of their experts. They can send you a free gold kit along with a free copy of the Wall Street Journal national bestseller, The Great Devaluation. Number again, 800-900-8000. Don't wait any longer. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value, all from Advantage Gold. 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Call Advantage Gold today. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. That's exactly what's happening every day at the Spring House in 84. We're literally up to our elbows in ice cream. But who could resist a cotton candy ice cream cone? Or how about cookie dough? Or Heath Crunch? Or even raspberry chocolate yogurt? You've just got to try them all. If not a cone, then how about a toasted almond fudge ball? Creamy vanilla ice cream rolled in toasted chopped almonds and topped with gooey hot fudge and real whipped cream. Or better yet, a strawberry ice cream shortcake made with real old-fashioned shortcakes smothered with sliced strawberries and again, real whipped cream. Jump in the car now, head to 84 in the Spring House, where we want you to scream for ice cream.
Research shows listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must love wasting your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all been said, so if that earphone was out, put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
What is a warrior? At Portersville Christian School, it's more than a team name. A warrior is taught to serve, to passionately model the love of Christ toward neighbor, community, and world. To learn as they cultivate academic excellence and a lifelong love of learning from kindergarten to senior year. And to lead through Christian character and integrity. Are you a warrior? Discover Portersville Christian School just 15 minutes north of Cranberry, where warriors are made at ourpcs.org.
Really want to thank you for your kindness, your generosity as we bring to you the needs of the refugee community in the country of Lebanon in the Middle East. This is a part of the country that historically we have not talked very much about on the ride home. We've spent a lot of time raising money for our friends in Central America. We've spent a lot of time talking about the global church as far as the need for Bibles. We've talked especially about infants who are suffering with malnutrition all over the continent of Africa. But this is the first time we've really turned our attention to the Middle East. And so we want to thank you so much for learning with us about Lebanon, for welcoming James Ward the last couple days and Jack Hibbard today. And so we ask you now, if you've been thinking about giving but have been putting it off, now is the time that we need you to come through, because we only have about 35 families left. It's only a total of about $4,000. And we will be able to meet our commitment to Heart for Lebanon. But we need you to call us now at 888-247-5499 or give your best gift online at wordfm.com. Click on the banner for Lebanon at the top of the page.
888-247-5499 now. Jack, people have called, yes?
Yes, they have, and I want to echo that thank you. We could not do this without you, friends. In fact, I was just checking, John, we've had over 50 WORD listeners that have stood with us in the last couple of days to be part of what God is doing in Lebanon. And special thank you to Jill from Pittsburgh, Barbara from Leechburg, just calling in a couple of moments ago and saying, yeah, you know what, I'll take a family. I'll make that investment of $116, which will provide those survival essentials and, of course, the gospel to those families. So here's where we are as we approach the 5 o'clock hour. A couple of moments ago, about a half hour ago, I guess, we set a goal to try to take care of 10 families.
Yes.
Thanks to those last two gifts from Jill and Barbara, we have 7 more of those families to go before 5 o'clock. Now, I realize we're only a couple of minutes away, but we could do this, friends. If everybody listening right now would go to the phones, or maybe you've been uniquely blessed and could say, you know what, I'll take care of those 7. That's a gift of $812. Maybe you're in a position to do that. By the way, each family, an average of 6 people in a family. So when we say a family, you're really touching the lives of 6 people, maybe eternally. But as Kathy said, now is the time. We're down to the last hour to go, and just a couple of minutes before 5 o'clock, we'd love to get that list down to 25 as we enter our last hour together.
Very nice. We know that you're there. We understand that inflation is crushing a lot of people. This is, we're going backwards now. The pandemic, of course, continues on. There's a lot going on in all of our lives. As bad as things are here, and believe me, we know how bad things are worse elsewhere. Dare I say, the country of Lebanon and the refugees there. Can you take just a small little slice, $116, and help those who cannot help themselves? Mothers and children living in tents in Lebanon. Join us right now at 888-247-5499. Once more, 888-247-5499. Of course, online, so easy at wordfm.com. We need your help. We're coming up to our final hour on air with this ministry. Still, 28 or so families need to be connected with the ministry. Let's all do this together and get this done. Wordfm.com. Join us right now with Heart for Lebanon.
Listen on your smart speaker at wordfm.com, the Word FM app, iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. In your car or at home, too, at 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
.org.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden has the coronavirus. Speaking to reporters, First Lady Jill Biden says her husband is doing well after testing positive.
I talked to him just a few minutes ago. He's doing fine. He's feeling good. I tested negative this morning. I am going to keep my schedule. I am, according to CDC guidelines, I am keeping masks.
Speaking at a White House news conference in the last few minutes, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president is expected to be fine.
The president is fully vaccinated and twice boosted. So I anticipate that he will respond favorably as most maximally protected patients do.
There's no word on whether the president may have contracted the virus. Also at townhall.com, on Wednesday while in Pennsylvania.
Pew! My 5-year-old nephew was waving his Vorpal sword through the air, making no sounds. Hey Titus, what are you doing, dude? I'm saving the galaxy, duh. It's Ryan, and the reality is, I feel like our Faith and Family Mortgage team has a galaxy-saving strategy for many families right now. It's not rocket science. The cost of everything is up. Gas, food, vacations, credit card rates. For many, times are tough. But one other thing is crazy up too. The value of our homes have jumped at historical levels, and this is our Vorpal sword. The strategy many are taking is they're cashing out that newfound money in their homes to help fight this inflation, to pay off or consolidate their debt, to do some fun things around the house, and to stash them away for peace of mind. If you'd like to see your options, we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. NMLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. It's really frustrating to deal with out-of-pocket medical expenses. Watching your hard-earned dollars just flying out the window. Well, here's something that can really help, and it's worth taking a minute to look into. Medi-Share has a new option called Medi-Share 65 Plus. Medi-Share is a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills. And it really is a community. People encourage and pray for each other. And Medi-Share 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B that fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. You can lock in one low monthly price for up to 10 years. It's great for peace of mind. And you can use your Medicare-approved doctor and get prescription savings, dental and vision savings. Very worth looking into, and it's so easy to find out why people rave about the customer service at Medi-Share. They're great to talk to on the phone. Here's the number. Call 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
MyPillow's having their biggest sheet sale of the year. Hey, this is John Hall. You've all helped build MyPillow into this amazing company. And now, Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO, wants to give back exclusively to his listeners. The Percale bedsheet set is available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they're all on sale. For example, the queen size is regularly priced at $89.98, but is now only $39.98 with our listener promo code. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. The Percale sheets are breathable, have a cool, crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There's a limited supply, so be sure to order now. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use promo code WORD. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use the promo code WORD.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 69. Mostly sunny, very warm and humid tomorrow. Tomorrow will reach a high of 87. Tomorrow night, we'll see mainly clear skies. It will be humid with a low of 67. Saturday will be very warm and humid with sunshine and a few clouds at a high of 89. Sunday, hot, humid, intervals of clouds and sun with a high of 92. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
The following program is sponsored by Heart for Lebanon.
Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Hey, good afternoon. People are amazing, are they not? People are amazing. Here's a quick story. A couple of weeks ago, I took my son to a Pirate game. The Yankees were in town, and we had not seen the Yankees play at PNC Park. So let's go see the Yankees play. Well,
you were hoping to see the Pirates play too.
Well, you know, we did see it was an excellent game. It really was an excellent game,
and the Pirates won.
The Pirates did win. Now, here's the deal: fully 50% of the park was Yankee fans. So we sit down. Who am I sitting next to? A Yankee fan.
Hard to take.
A great guy. I mean, a really great guy from Connecticut. He was a kid, maybe 23 or so. We spent the entirety of the game just talking back and forth. Anyway, what do you do? I told him what I did. He goes he scoffed. He literally scoffed. Fuck, really? The Jesus thing. Okay. And before that, we're talking about baseball, and it was a really good conversation. But when I told him that, the topic turned a little bit. I mean, the tone turned. It got a little twisty and a little odd. He said to me, "Yeah, man, pray for me." He invited that to be open. Now, I've been thinking about this guy. He was such a sweetheart. We had such a good time together. And I'm praying for this guy, Tony, every day now. Now, I don't know Tony. I'll never see this guy again.
Maybe.
He lives in Connecticut. Maybe. Now, I'm thinking about this stranger who came into my life as we're talking about Heart for Lebanon today. Essentially, we're doing the same thing. We are praying for people that most likely will never see, never meet. These people, they need Jesus just like you and I need Jesus. The bigger thing here right now, though, is the window of food and sustenance for the next 4 months. So here we are. It's just a few minutes past 5 o'clock. It's 6 minutes past 5. When we leave the air today at 6 o'clock, this campaign is over. And as of right now, we need about 27 of you to step forward to say, I can take care of one family for the princely sum of $116 for the next 4 months. That's all. We're not asking you for the full year or 2 years or 5 years or to sponsor anything. We're asking a one-time gift of $116. We know that there are right now thousands of you listening. Won't, in that whole pool of thousands of people, won't 26 of you step forward and say, I got this. I can take care of a mom and her 4 kids. I got this. We're about $3,000 away from our goal. Is somebody out there? Earlier today, somebody said I can do 10 families, a little over $1,000. Maybe that's you. Or maybe 26 of you can say, I'll do it one at a time. Whatever it is, at 5:07, we're counting down. Heart for Lebanon is going to leave the air. We're not going to talk about this tomorrow. But today, this moment, this second, right now, the urgency is in the air to make sure that these 26 families, 27 families are taken care of. 888-247-5499. Won't you be one of those 26, 27 people right now at 888-247-5499 or online at wordfm.com. Jack Hibbard is with us. He's essentially the eyes and ears of Heart for Lebanon. Jack, set the stage. What exactly is going on? Who is Heart for Lebanon?
Well, Heart for Lebanon is an organization that's been working in the country of Lebanon for 16 years, really ministering to the poorest of poor. And what I've found out, John, over the years is, I really didn't understand the definition of poverty. The definition of poverty, I always thought, was so tied up to economic status, right? And it's bad in Lebanon. Trust me, 80% of everybody living there is in desperate need of some kind of aid because their economy is in tatters, right? So that has something to do with it. But what I've really found out is I've sat in these refugee tents as I looked at these young moms and these children with, sort of sullen looks on their face. I found out that the definition of poverty, true poverty, is really the absence of hope. And so when you look into these eyes and you realize what's their biggest need, yes, they need economic resources, they need food, they need supplies, they need things to survive. And we do that. Heart for Lebanon does that. In fact, as you stand with us with that gift of $116, that will provide for the next 4 months the survival essentials that these desperate people need. But here's what you're really going to be doing. You're going to be kickstarting a relationship because we pledge and promise to not drop that family after 4 months. We're going to continue to serve them regardless of what you invest in tonight. You will kickstart the relationship that we get the opportunity to share the gospel. And listen, I want to make sure that everybody listening right now has a really clear understanding of where my heart is today. It's easy to listen to times like this and think, well, this is a fundraiser. You guys are raising money. Can I just say this as clearly as possible? God doesn't need or even want our money. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. And I got to tell you something. I've been a part of this. I've seen it. God always resources where he's working. What God really wants is our heart. Remember Jesus said, where your heart is, that's where your treasure is. Mm-hmm. And here's what I know about those words personally, right? When we give up a little bit of what we think we own, money's one of those things we think we own. And of course, it's even harder now to give it up in these economic times because we're all feeling the squeeze. I understand that. But when we do that, we actually have to loosen up our grip on something we think we own. And I think really, in effect, give a little bit more of our heart to Jesus because we have to trust that we're going to give this up and he's going to take care of us. And can I tell you from personal experience, he will. And here's the other thing that happens in that process, right? When you do that, you grow a little closer to him. That is what this day is all about. Please don't misunderstand. God's going to take care of Heart for Lebanon. He has for 16 years. He's going to continue to do that. Now, we do need the resources, right, to be able to do the work that he's called us to do. We do need the resources to get these last 26 families off this waiting list and into our care. But the thing we want more than anything else today, and I mean this with all my heart, is we want you to grow a little closer to Jesus today. And the way you do that is by connecting to where he is working, and he is working in the country of Lebanon. So won't you join us right now?
888-247-5499. Let's keep those phones ringing. Also, go online to wordfm.com. Nothing will ring. But still, right. We would gladly receive your donation there at wordfm.com. Click on the banner at the top of the page. Jack, we had an opportunity to talk to James Ward over the last couple of days, who's the executive director of Heart for Lebanon, and he shared with us the perilous state that young women find themselves in a refugee camp. And there were a lot of heartbreaking stories. You shared one with us via audio in the 4 o'clock hour. And it is, I've got 2 daughters of my own. We all have young women in our lives that we love and care about, and to think of them being in such an unsafe position for such an extended period of time, it's just it boggles the mind. So Jack, from your perspective, talk about the intervention, the heart that Heart for Lebanon has for these young girls.
Yeah, we actually heard of a father, believe it or not, Kathy, that was so desperate just to make it to the next day that he was willing to give up his wife and his daughters for, unspeakable things that we won't even talk about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the level of desperation of the families that we're meeting and we're serving. Now, thankfully, we were able to intervene in that instance. How did we do that? Well, through just like the investments that we're making today. You made it possible, friends that are standing with us today, for us to go into that refugee tent settlement, hear about that situation, begin to serve that family and say, hey, look, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Here's the resources that you need to survive. What else do you need? What can we do to help you avoid this? And then here's the beautiful thing. We actually had the opportunity to lead that entire family to faith and trust in Jesus Christ because we started a relationship with them. And yeah, it didn't happen overnight. It was a little like the Yankees fan at PNC Park, right? It didn't happen overnight. Right. It didn't happen overnight, but but through the relationship, we had the opportunity to go back there day after day or month after month after month and minister to this family. And those girls have been rescued. And that's what's hanging in the balance here. You know, women, children who actually would just as easily be recruited by terrible evil forces over there. And you know some of the terrorist organizations that are in the Middle East. If we think it's important that we reach children, how important do you think it is for them? And so I say this all the time. Let's rescue these people for Jesus before somebody else captures them for evil. That's our opportunity today.
Mm-hmm. Please join us right now. We're going to step away, but as we do, we are counting down. Here it is. It's 5:14. Jack Hibbert is with us from Heart for Lebanon. He's going to leave the air at 6 o'clock. We still have 26 families who need assistance for the next 4 months. A one-time gift of $116 does that. Please, won't you call us 888-247-5499. 888-247-5499 now.
101.5 WORD. Pittsburgh's favorite Christian music is here on the weekend.
With the best new music.
New music from Apollo LTD, Soul Worth Saving. Church from Evie McKinney.
Take me to.
And Toby Mac with Blessing Offered, The Goodness.
Celebrating 20 years of bringing Pittsburgh's favorites and the best new music.
101.5 WORD on the weekend.
The word around town is that Pittsburgh homeowners are choosing doing it right when it comes to their roofing, siding, and remodeling projects.
That's because since 1984, Doing It Right roofing, siding, remodeling continues to set the bar through clear communication and an installation that's second to none.
Doing It Right employs only the most experienced professionals to install and oversee your project.
They'll stop at nothing to ensure your satisfaction, doing business honestly, taking no money down and no payment until the job is complete.
Doing It Right will ensure that all work is installed to the industry's highest standards. Then back it all up with their lifetime workmanship warranty.
As a prestigious multi-award-winning Owens Corning Platinum contractor, as well as a VSI certified installation contractor, you can't go wrong with Doing It Right.
Mention John and Kathy for a discount off your estimate.
Call 724-NEW-ROOF for a free project evaluation or visit roofingcontractorpittsburgh.com.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Meet Brad. Brad's hard at work, or at least his website is. Ever since he added live chat with Salem Surround, Brad's customers are getting their questions answered 24/7. Website purchases have gone up 35%, and they're over 3 times more likely to buy from him again. No bots, just real people helping real people. Live chat. One of the easiest, most affordable ways Salem Surround can increase your business while you do other things, or nothing at all. Ask us how at surroundpittsburgh.com.
This is Pastor Tom Hall. People are capable of such goodness. So why are we at war with each other? It turns out the Christian faith is completely realistic about human nature. Faith gives us the tools to examine ourselves and imagine a better future. Join us for worship at First Presbyterian Church of Pittsburgh, 326th Avenue, downtown, Sundays at 10:45 for our sermon series, What's Wrong With Us? Learn more at fpcp.org.
Counting down 5:17, our final 47 minutes or so with Heart for Lebanon. Jack Hibbert is with us. We need your help. 888-247-5499. Once more, 888-247-5499. We're about 26 families away. It's about $3,000 or so to ensure that Heart for Lebanon can come around these families for the next 4 months and provide the basics, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So as we look at providing the basics, Jack, I guess I want to get inside your mind and your heart. Why did you get involved with this organization?
Oh, man. Well, it really does go back to a personal relationship with the co-founder, Tom Adama. He took me there in 2008 for the first time. And he took me under the guise of showing me that they were doing leadership training. And he wanted me to see how they were training leaders from 4 different nations. And we saw that. But then he kind of, I guess, snookered me a little bit. He said, hey, I want to take you out on a little expedition. We're going to go serve some families, some Iraqi war families that are refugees here. And so we distributed that day about 100 packages of food to refugee families. And that was really the very embryonic stages of Heart for Lebanon. Of course, you know the rest of the story. The Syrian war broke out. 2 million refugees have settled into the Bekaa Valley. Lebanon has been in a tailspin as a country ever since. And Heart for Lebanon's ministry has just absolutely exploded, and God is on the move. Well, I didn't go back again until 2016.
Wow.
And when I went back in 2016, I had an experience, honestly, that literally changed my life. I walked into our Hope Center in the South. The Hope Center, we haven't spent a ton of time talking about that today, but right now we have, at the time, I think there we had about 150 refugee students that were learning in that Hope Center. It's the only place, by the way, that refugee kids get an opportunity to learn. They can't go to Lebanese schools, so we take those that are at the most need. Some kids, by the way, we've met, believe it or not, 10, 11 years old, have never even seen a book, let alone been in a classroom, because, you know, they left Syria when they were preschool age, never been to school. So we bring them to our Hope Center. We give them an opportunity to learn. The greatest thing is that everybody there that teaches these kids is a follower of Jesus, and we get to just pour the love of Jesus on them. And boy, the results that we're seeing in the lives of these kids is just amazing. Well, I walked into this school playground, and it was a lot like any other school playground you might imagine. I mean, kids are running around, they're kicking a soccer ball, they're laughing, which, by the way, was quite the contrast from what I saw in the refugee tent settlements. They're happy, they're pushing and shoving. It was a little bit, you know, there were a few reminders that I wasn't in Kansas, right? Because I looked over the wall and I saw a Hezbollah flag flying, and I saw some other evidences that we were not in the safest place of the world. But this little girl came running across the playground, and honestly, she was the happiest girl that I met on my entire trip, and she could not stop talking about her newfound faith in Jesus Christ. And I was so moved, I said, stop. Will you say that again? And I recorded it with my iPhone. I want to play it for everybody right now. Listen to this.
Hello, my name is Zahar. I'm 14 years old and I live in Delhamia. And I moved to Lebanon because of the war. My home fell down. I thank God for Lebanon because he learned me about Jesus. Jesus changed me for best. I love Jesus so much.
Now,
that's so amazing.
I don't know if you can make out all of that. She was obviously speaking a little bit of broken English, but here's the deal. She actually had only been learning English for under 2 years, which was amazing that she could even get those sentences out. But you could see, and I could hear the change in this little girl's heart. I was so moved by the time I had with Rahaf that I went in and I said something to the ministry director, Denise. I said, man, this girl's amazing. She said, oh, Jack, you don't know half the story. She hid in a cave for 5 days with her family. They lived in Aleppo. And, you know, if you remember anything about the Syrian war, you know Aleppo was just a horrible place. Atrocities happened there. Rahaf came from there. But her mom saw such a difference in her that she came to our Hope Center and she said, what have you done with my daughter? She's completely changed. And we had the opportunity in that moment to lead that mom to faith in Christ and Jesus. And everybody in that family now knows Jesus as their Savior. And I said to Denise, wow, okay, I get this. You change a child, you change a family. And she said, Jack, it's way bigger than that. You change that family, you can change a community. You change that community, you can change an entire region. And from there, you can change the world. And I got to tell you, John and Kathy, I came back from that trip and I said to my wife, Erin, we're involved in a lot of things and they're not bad, but I got to unload some things because I want to be where God is working. And God is working in this ministry of Heart for Lebanon. And since then, I've been pretty personally invested in, I don't tell a lot of people this, I'm the chairman of their board right now. That's how in I am on this ministry, because I do want to be where God is working. And that's the invitation for you today, friends. Would you have a desire to connect to where God is working? I'm telling you from personal experience, it does not get any better than that. And so there's our invitation. Yes, we need to help people, and that's what it's all about. That's how you're going to actually not have to take a trip to Lebanon to meet a Rahaf and still have the same joy and the blessing that I have, being a part of where God's working. So here's how it works. $116 will take care of another Rahaf and her family for the next 4 months. That only happened, by the way, because somebody was willing to give, John and Kathy. We only had the opportunity to meet Rahaf in a refugee tent settlement. And by the way, the process with her is the process that we've been laying out and talking about all afternoon. We met her in a refugee tent settlement. We were able to bring her to our Hope Center, and you heard the rest of the story, right? Because we had a relationship with that family. That's what you'll kickstart with your investment. $116 does that. It brings a child and their family food for the next 4 months, but through that relationship provides the hope of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Here's how you do it. 888-247-5499, 888-247-5499. You can give online. I know this is a busy time. You may be trying to get out of the office, and you're thinking, I don't have time for a phone call, or I don't like to talk to people. My wife's like that. I don't want to talk to anybody. Kathy's like that. Yeah. We're lucky she talks to us, right, John? But
I squeeze you guys
most
in,
days,
seriously.
Yeah,
most days we're lucky. But anyway, if you don't want to talk to somebody, you can go online. It's a quick and easy process. Literally, you can give a gift there in less than 60 seconds. wordfm.com, wordfm.com. John, we need to thank some people because God's doing something big throughout our audience right now. Janet in Washington, Pennsylvania, thank you so much. Diane, thanks for your gift, taking care of another family. Jim from Moon Township also stood up and said, I'll take one of the remaining families. Barry from North Huntington, we're grateful for your gift. We had an anonymous friend from Monroeville say, you know what? 2 families. I'll take care of those. Let me do that. And Wendy from New Kensington, thank you for your gift as well. So here's where we are. We are down to 18 families. We started, about almost 90 minutes ago with 35 families still on a waiting list. We've taken care of now just about half of that list. We're oh so close, but we are down to precious few moments remaining. And so you are needed right now.
Very nice. It's 5:26. Jack is going to leave us. Heart for Lebanon is going to leave us at the end of our show here, and that will be all for Heart for Lebanon. So please, 18 families. Are there 18 people out there right now who say, I can take care of a family for the next 4 months? It's the princely sum of $116. That's all it is. Now, look, everybody knows weird times here economically. Inflation is crushing everybody, but maybe you got a little one-time hit of $116. You don't feel the pain of that. You're going to take care of a family for the next 4 months. 888-247-5499. 888-247-5499, or so easy online at wordfm.com. But really, just pick up your phone, grab it. It'll take you 90 seconds or so to give your basic information. 888-247-5499. 18 families left to go in about 33 minutes before we leave the air. Here's what I think about, Jack, that these kids you're talking about in these refugee camps in Lebanon, there is a sea of untapped potential. Who are these kids? And if, people, you, me, Kath, our listeners, you're, breathing into them. You're talking about Christ. You're, educating with reading and writing and math and all that. That untapped potential in a child's life. And everybody who's had this in their life, had this happen, you know what that's like. Someone says yes, and the kid sits up and goes, yes. And boom, things change, things happen. There are kids in these camps, and you know this is no exaggeration, They're going to be doctors and educators and plumbers and scholars and, all those things that contribute to the greater good, the flourishing of society in a pro-life perspective. This country's on fire right now with that pro-life conversation or, the anti-abortion crowd, all that thing. This is not happening in Lebanon. Their perspective, their priorities are 100% different than ours because they're just scraping by, trying to get through another day in a refugee camp, living in a canvas tent surrounded by the elements. So when it rains, there's the mud. When it snows, there's the frigid cold. The families are still going to be there. Our greater ask is this, that we can do better to help these families, to untap that potential, to provide the basics of food and comfort so they make it through another day in Jesus' name. And oh, by the way, here's the gospel in action, right? This is why we say we submit to the Lord of the universe. Please join us. Our time is waning here. The families need our help. From a pro-life perspective, pick up your phone and join us at 888-247-5499, 888-247-5499. Heart for Lebanon wants to do their very best, but they need your help to make sure that 18 families are covered by the time we leave the air. Please join us. MyPillow is having their biggest sheet sale of the year. Hey, this is John Hall. You've all helped build MyPillow into this amazing company. And now, Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO, wants to give back exclusively to his listeners. The Percale bedsheet set is available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they're all on sale. For example, the queen size is regularly priced at $89.98, but is now only $39.98 with our listener promo code. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. The Percale sheets are breathable, have a cool, crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There's a limited supply, so be sure to order now. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use promo code WORD. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use the promo code WORD.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text RON to 99799 and I'll send you my free training. I promise I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text RON to 99799 and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's RON to 99799. Again, text RON to 99799.
Studies show decades of increased taxpayer spending per student has failed to improve educational performance. Can't we do better? Pittsburgh's Christian schools say we can. Right now, local Christian schools are offering half-price tuitions for first-time enrollees, like Rhema Christian School in Moon. If you're looking for a safe environment for kids to learn, where character matters and academic excellence is served by highly qualified teachers, consider Christian education. Visit wordfm.com/tuitions.
Ask Alexa to play the word Pittsburgh to hear us there. We're on your Google speaker too, plus iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
You've served our country and made us proud. Many of you have come home, continue to lead, and look out for one another. So it's important we all learn the 5 signs of emotional suffering. If you or someone you know is experiencing one or more of these signs, reach out, connect, offer to help.
Hey, what's the matter?
In or out of uniform, we can help our families and nation stay strong. Visit changedirection.org.
Clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 69. Mostly sunny, very warm and humid tomorrow. Tomorrow will reach a high of 87. Tomorrow night, we'll see mainly clear skies. It will be humid with a low of 67. Saturday will be very warm and humid with sunshine and a few clouds at a high of 89. Sunday, hot, humid, intervals of clouds and sun with a high of 92. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
We're talking about changing lives. We're talking about changing the lives of kids, their families. And, you know, we think about a place that many of us might never visit, like the Middle East. I'm dying to go. I would love to see it. Never been to any country in the Middle East, but it's so war-torn. The refugee crisis is immense, and just the clash of cultures is so profound there, more profound there than anywhere else in the globe. And so it's not a surprise to any of us that there are issues there that need addressing, and there are people there who need helping. And that's why Heart for Lebanon has, I don't know, it's become so close to my heart, is because they're seeing the need of the refugee community there, and they are actually doing something. So we talk about the refugee community as a news story, as something, oh my gosh, isn't that sad? We see it in a movie, whatever. But they go beyond that. They say, okay, look, these are real people. This is not some kind of story. These are real people experiencing a real crisis. We can do something, and they're asking us to help. The phone number is 888-247-5499. Only 18 families left. Last I checked. That's only about $2,000 so total. So we would love for you to come alongside one of those families for $116 at 888-247-5499. You can give online also at wordfm.com, or if you've been gifted, if you've been blessed financially and can make that $2,000 gift to cover all the families, we would gratefully, so gratefully receive that. Jack, talk about lives being changed. I know that's why you do what you do with Heart for Lebanon.
Yeah, it's why I don't want to finish this hour with a single child or a family on a waiting list, because I know the potential that can happen, especially in little kids' lives. I mean, and we know that, right? It's so much easier to reach someone under the age of 18 with the gospel. We know that here in America. Imagine what it's like in a foreign country where these kids have known nothing but growing up in just utter poverty, in utter squalor, in a refugee tent settlement. And I, look, I've got dozens of kids that I've met in my visits to Lebanon, but Ali sticks out to me as one of those kids whose lives was changed. 6-year-old little boy. He came to our Hope Educational Program. We talked about that earlier, a place where kids get to learn the basics of education, the only opportunity they're ever going to get, but they get it from teachers who love Jesus. And, like so many of the kids, Ali was just, traumatized through everything that he had been through. John was talking about this earlier. We know what it's like when you just instill a little bit of confidence in a child, what can happen. And this poor little boy came to us really broken. He wasn't very comfortable at all in class. He seemed very shy. He found it really challenging to even participate in any activities, would never answer a teacher's question. But again, just day after day, the teachers at the Hope Center just kept loving on Ali. They kept sharing the love of Jesus with him. And recently, we got a report back about Ali that just thrilled my heart, because during one of the Bible lesson times, when the teacher was sharing the story of Bartimaeus, she asked the students, hey, do you want to act this out, right? She went through the whole story and said, would you like to act out this story? And surprisingly, Ali raises his hand from the back of the room very sheepishly, and he puts his hand up, and she recognizes him, and she says, yes, Ali. He says, can I play a role in the story? She said, sure. What role would you like to play? He said, I'd like to be Jesus. Now, if you know anything about the story of Bartimaeus, he's kind of the central figure in this story, right? And so that was a bold move for little Ali. He said, but this is what he said, which just thrilled my heart. He said, I want to be the man that heals and helps those in need. I want to be like Jesus. You see, Ali had just recently accepted Jesus as his Savior, and we could see it right in front of our own eyes. Kathy, you talk about a changed life. We could see his life, his character, it all was changing. And the teachers at the Hope Center now say that Ali's responsible, he's confident, he's caring, And it's just another example of how life changes when Jesus comes in. And I think it's another great example of what can happen in these closing moments of our partnership. You know, we have at last count, and we're going to go to break here in a couple of moments, and we're going to count everything up, and we'll be back with an update. But at last count, we have 18 Ali's and his family still sitting on a waiting list. And that's why I said I don't want to leave 15 minutes from now, 20 minutes from now, with any of those kids and their families still sitting on that list, because I know the potential of what can happen, and I know how God can change a life. I know how God can use your investment right now.
Very nice. That investment is necessary right now. As Jack said, 18 families still need to be connected with Heart for Lebanon. Here it is. It's 5:38. We're going to leave the air at the 6 o'clock hour. So please don't delay. Join us right now at 888-247-5499. 888-247-5499 or wordfm.com. Please call us now.
101.5 WORD.
Plan now to join Word FM Tuesday, August 16th aboard the Gateway Clippers Empress for another fabulous dinner cruise. From 6:30 to 9, relax in the company of fellow believers as you enjoy a fantastic dinner buffet, music, and stunning views of the city skyline. The Ride Home's John and Kathy will be your cruise directors for this amazing night, sponsored by Trinity Jewelers. Don't miss the boat. Last year's event completely sold out. Reserve now at wordfm.com/dinner cruise.
If you haven't switched to Medi-Share yet, two big reasons to at least consider it and why it makes so much sense right now. Number one's inflation, which is just affecting everything. It makes sense to say, okay, where can I actually save? Well, you could save a lot in one fell swoop if you switch to Medi-Share. The typical family saves $500 a month. Secondly, your conscience. Medi-Share members aren't forced to pay for things they don't support or believe in, and that's a big deal for a lot of people right now. They want their money to actually help people. And one more reason, you can trust Medi-Share. It's been the gold standard for healthcare sharing for more than 25 years. It works, and members love it too. It has double the customer satisfaction rating compared to health insurance. So now's a great time to consider making the switch, and they're very easy to talk to. Medi-Share has great customer service. You can even get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Train up a child in the way they should go. Well, you know the rest. It's a calling you take very seriously as a Christian parent. And Trinity Christian School in Forest Hills seeks to honor your commitment by working together with parents to prepare students who are academically sound and spiritually ready to take their place in the world through a classical approach to education that helps build a faith from which they will never depart. Trinity Christian School, one of the top K-12 schools in Allegheny County, at trinitychristian.net.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
We are counting down the minutes and counting up the families that are now connected to Heart for Lebanon. We're going to leave the air here at 6 o'clock. It's 5:41. We still need your help because families are out there. Heart for Lebanon would like to serve as many families as possible. The phone number is 888-247-5499. 888-247-5499. We're asking this. From a pro-life perspective, one family taken care of for the next 4 months is only $116. Please join us, wordfm.com or 888-247-5499. Jack, do you have an update for us?
John, we've got some people to thank, and I am so grateful to the following people: Barry from North Huntington, Jim from Moon Township, Diane stepping up to take care of a family, Janet as well, Richard from Pittsburgh. Thank you for your generous gift, Paul from Mount Pleasant, all in the last couple of moments stepping up. So here's where we are. I'm really excited about this, John. 10 families remaining on a waiting list that need our help. We started almost a couple of hours ago now with 35 families on a list. We are down to 10 precious children and their families. If you'd like to know what that means, it's a gift of $1,160. That would take care of all 10. Maybe the Lord's uniquely blessed you and you could make that gift. Boy, now would be the time, down to just about 15 minutes to go remaining in our partnership together.
Very nice.
And we want to make sure that when we end at 6 o'clock, nobody is still on that list.
So $1,160 to go, little tiny chunks of $116 per family, or someone stepping forward and say, I can do all 10 families in one fell swoop.
That's it. I mean, you and 9 others right now would also do it at that gift of $116. And John, we haven't mentioned this in a while. I know there's some folks out there that say, you know what, I'd like to be generous, but these are tough times, and we've got to watch our monthly budget.
Yep.
Can we do it monthly? The answer is yes. You can give any amount that you'd like to monthly. In fact, we talked about this earlier. Less than $1 a day. And you can take care of a family month after month after month. Just $29 a month will do that. But whatever amount you'd like to give monthly, that's an option. You can choose online when you go to WORDFM.com. That's wordfm.com. Just choose the monthly option, or let the operator know when you call. I'd like to give monthly. The telephone number is 888-247-5499, 888-247-5499.
Very nice. We are not patient people. The other day I had to call my medical provider to inquire about a bill. And
oh boy.
Miraculously so, I went through the phone tree, and then I got a live person. And before I got a syllable out, the person said, "Can you hold, please?" What was I going to say? No? Yes, so I had to hold. So I sat there patiently holding. I don't know, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. They kind of go, oh, hang up now and we'll call you back. But I'm not going to give that up. I'm like a dog with a bone. I got a place. I'm going to patiently wait, which makes me think about what we've been talking here, Jack. The people, the families we're talking about, they are essentially on hold, not for 15 minutes, not for 15 days, not for 15 weeks. Some people, year after year, maybe more than a decade or more, their lives are on hold. And so that's why I'm so grateful for Heart for Lebanon to minister to those families, those young mothers and their children. Their lives are on hold in refugee camps, living in canvas tents in all sorts of weather. They need the basics, the food, the medical supplies, the hygiene products, and that's why Heart for Lebanon is there. Also, the major thing is they are ministering in the name of Jesus and bringing Jesus to a population that is largely a Muslim population. So in an impatient world that we live in, on hold often, and pushing, angry about it, upset, come on, take my call, let's do this. All this, frazzled inside. Imagine, put yourself in those refugee camps. I'm upset at being on hold for 15 minutes. What about a decade on hold? And my little kids are growing up, and they've got there's no education here. There's no books. There's no teachers. It's a life that's gone by. So in a world where we're looking at potential, let you be that person who unlocks that potential and allows these families to flourish. We just need 10 families to reach our goal. 888-247-5499. 888-247-5499, or online at wordfm.com. Please join us. One family is only $116 for the next 4 months. Can that be you? We know that there are thousands of people listening. Hello, are you there? So please, won't you join us at 888-247-54999.
Yeah. As we all come together, we think about, as I think about the volatility of that area, Jack, and I think about the potential of the kids. You were talking about the fact that, there are many kids without any education. A lot of kids can't read. And we know that, we've got Sunni, we got Shia, and we got Christian portions of Lebanon, and we know that Hezbollah is recruiting at all times. So talk about how essential do you see your role there in giving the young boys that are in the camps a different path, showing them that there's another future for them other than that?
Well, it's absolutely critical. And as a matter of fact, we talked about this earlier. We have a Hope Center where we get to educate kids. We have 900 kids there. But there are thousands of kids in these refugee tent settlements. And we recognize that. We knew that if we were going to reach them, we had to come up with another method. We haven't talked much about this, but we have a Hope on Wheels program that runs into these refugee tent settlements and ministers every week. And the kids come running out like it's the Good Humor ice cream truck, man. They can't wait to see that stage pop out and have a little bit of fun and learn about Jesus. In fact, Shahid was one of those children, and I'd love to share her story with you right now.
First, they ask us how we're doing. Then the program starts with some worship songs. We get so excited with those songs. And then we sit back in our places. They tell us stories, play games with us, bring us up on stage. Last, they do a clown show. And after that, it's over and they leave. It's so much fun. My favorite thing of all is listening to stories about Jesus and learning new things. My name is Shahed. I'm currently living in Lebanon, but my home is Syria, and I'm from Homs. Every now and then, when the leader of our camp tells us that the truck will be coming, I get so excited. I get dressed up and ready to attend and enjoy the program.
Shahed is an 11-year-old girl who spent the last 5 years in the Hope on Wheels program. Shahed learned a lot of good values that affected her life in a big way. These values include loving and respecting other kids, for she used to hit and bully other kids at the camp where she lives. But now, she transformed into a person that rushes to help people whenever they need help. Hope on Wheels is very important, for it helps and gives a chance for the kid, first of all, to learn something new about God, and of course, to have the experience of how God could touch someone's life. Hope on Wheels could also give kids some values that they lack in the environment they're in.
When I attended Hope on Wheels clubs, Mr. Roy taught us about love and faith. I learned to be respectful and never bully others. I learned about Jesus, who shed his blood on the cross for us.
It's a great story.
Yeah, well, and it is just an example of what your investment is helping to make possible. You know, we talk about what does the $116 do, right? And we say it provides food for 4 months, but it's so much more than that. It's Hope on Wheels, it's Bible studies, it's the churches, it's the other things that Heart for Lebanon does. You're helping to kickstart all that. Yes, $116 takes care of food for 4 months. But you need to know something about Heart for Lebanon. That's not where we stop. We're not dropping off food at refugee tent settlements and moving on to the next one. If we did, our numbers could be huge, right? We are ministering to 4,000 families and trying to do more with your help this afternoon. $116 is what it will take to get a family off a waiting list and into our care. But as I said, getting into our care is just the beginning. We'll provide everything they need for the next 4 months, but promise you that we'll continue the relationship that you will start that'll give us the chance to perhaps change their life forever.
That's fabulous. I mean, that's everything, Jack. I mean, you know, in your own church, you're not doing drive-by relationship in your own church, right? You're there for the long haul. You're there with the families. So, you know, a lot of aid organizations, they drop food off and, you know, they give it a thumbs up. We're good to go. What you're doing with Heart for Lebanon is 4,000 plus families and a relationship that has been going on for years. And now we're just saying, let's widen the pool a little bit and invite more families into the relationship. 888-247-5499. 888-247-5499. We're going to leave the air here in just a couple of minutes. It's 5:51. Won't you get in under the wire here and join us to make sure that these families that are still out there, 10 families, are part of this relationship. Join us.
Excuse me, why don't you have life insurance yet?
I've got diabetes, and I know the price will be through the roof for the pre-existing condition.
Well, actually, SelectQuote makes it easy to get very affordable life insurance, even if you have a health issue.
I'm listening.
You'll get quotes from some of the country's most trusted carriers. Even with your diabetes, you can get around $250,000 in insurance for as little as $1 a day.
That would be amazing. What's it called again?
SelectQuote. Just call or go to selectquote.com to get your free quote. Get the coverage you need at a price you can afford. Call 1-800-694-1010 or go to selectquote.com today. That's 1-800-694-1010 or selectquote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Get full details on example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Monthly premiums vary based on health company and other factors. Not available in all states.
The word around town is that Pittsburgh homeowners are choosing doing it right when it comes to their roofing, siding, and remodeling projects.
That's because since 1984, Doing It Right roofing, siding, remodeling continues to set the bar through clear communication and an installation that's second to none.
Doing It Right employs only the most experienced professionals to install and oversee your project.
They'll stop at nothing to ensure your satisfaction, doing business honestly, taking no money down and no payment until the job is complete.
Doing It Right will ensure all work is installed to the industry's highest standards, then back it all up with their lifetime workmanship warranty.
As a prestigious multi-award-winning Owens Corning Platinum contractor, as well as a VSI-certified installation contractor, you can't go wrong with Doing It Right.
Mention Johnny Cathy for a discount off your estimate.
Call 724-NEW-ROOF for a free project evaluation or visit roofingcontractorpittsburgh.com.
Want it done right, call Doing It Right.
I truly have never worked in a place that I've loved so much.
Cara Bell, principal at Jubilee Christian School in Mount Lebanon.
The feeling is so warm and open when you walk in. They're very passionate about teaching, passionate about the school, and they love the children. Everybody's willing to step up and help one another. There's just so much love there and compassion for each other, and it's just a nice, warm place to be.
Imagine, believe, achieve. Jubilee Christian School, K through 7th grade, now enrolling for the fall at jubileecs.org.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries starting at just $79.99. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
We are everywhere on your radio at 101.5 WORD FM Pittsburgh, at wordfm.com, the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Jack Gibbard's with us, Heart for Lebanon. Jack, it's 5:54. We've been counting down the entirety of this show to widen the pool to make sure as many families as possible. Can you tell us where we are, please?
Yeah, well, we want to say thank you to Deborah in Irondale, Ohio. She stepped up to say,
Thanks, Deborah.
I'll take care of not one, but 2 families. So thank you so much, Deborah, for your generosity. Joanne, with a gift of $116. Thank you for that gift, taking care of another family. So that would be great because we'd be down to just 8 if that were it. But I've got some exciting news to share with you. In the last few moments together, we have really seen God's people be really generous. Kim and Richard have combined to take care of the next 20 families together. So thank you guys. We are incredibly blessed to have taken care of not 109 families together like we set out to do, but at last count we have now blessed and taken off a waiting list 118 families.
Oh, fabulous!
Who now will be into the care.
Is that?
People are so incredible. People are so incredible.
Oh my God!
Thank you.
We're incredibly blessed. And, John, I know we've got only a couple of minutes left. I'd like to wrap this up exactly the way that we started. I mean, what this day was all about was connecting people to where God is working in the country of Lebanon. And, at last count, as I look down this list of names, and, we don't have enough minutes to read them all. I think we've had now 67 WORD listeners who have stood with us to say, I want to be a part of what God is doing in the country of Lebanon. That's what it's all about. And so I would just say this to you, friends, those of you who have not yet, made the commitment, have not yet felt led to be with us. I don't want you to miss out on this blessing. I really don't. I know what it's like. to be a part of this ministry. I know what it's like to get the blessing of being connected where God is working. This day was not really what we wanted from you, ever. It's what we wanted for you. And so thank you. May God bless you as you continue to think about, what part he wants you to play. And by the way, when we talk about connecting where God is working, you can do that in a lot of places, right? You can do it in your local church. You can do it through other ministries. There's lots of places where that can happen. But I can vouch personally, having been there many times, that God is working in Lebanon. And we hope you'll stand with us, because here's the reality. There's still a whole lot of families that need our help. We're ministering to 4,000 families, but the truth of the matter is there's 2 million refugees that need to be served, and so the need seems endless. But how we do it is one family at a time. And I'm just so blessed with the opportunity that we've had today, and to see what God has done. And John and Kathy, thank you so much for your commitment to this ministry. On behalf of all of us at Heart for Lebanon, thank you so much. And may I just say this: if you haven't participated, the website's not going down tonight as far as we know. The banners will stay up. You can give at wordfm.com. And that phone number, 888-247-5499, 888-247-5499. Some folks are still on it right now, and that will remain open for days to come. We hope to hear from you.
Fabulous.
Thank you, my friends.
Thank you,
so
Jack.
Great. Great to see you, Jack.
It surely is. We've got a great heart for Lebanon and the dangerous and godly work that you do. And, it's always wonderful to see God working through people's lives here. So thank you to everyone, our entire listening audience. Whether you gave or not, your prayers are appreciated. And God is good and rightly to be praised, to think about those young women and their children who will now have a brighter future because of your work. Thank you so much. God's blessing on all you.
The Ride Home with John and Kathy, a production of Salem Media Group.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. In the wake of the Dobbs holding overturning Roe v. Wade, pro-choicers have been desperate to discredit